Hello, I welcome you to this important edition of our ICAN on AIR series as we examine the topic, Nigeria's economic development, the place of professionals and diaspora remittances. These remittances into Nigeria increased by 15.06% quarter on quarter to $9.22 billion in the first half of 2021. When you compare that to 7.98 billion recorded in the second half of 2020. That number represents a marginal 2.2% increase compared to 9.02 billion recorded in the corresponding period of 2020. While awaiting authenticated numbers for year-end 2021 and year-to-date 2022, pundits predict that Nigeria's inflow is yet to reach its pre-pandemic levels. However, they also say that it is beginning to show signs of upward movements. I have to also recognize that the diaspora remittances has continued to support the Nigeria's current account balances, which has been on a net deficit since the first quarter of 2021. Now joining on our question and answer guest segment to share practical insights and give advice on this subject is Mrs. Ibironke Adeagbo FCA. Mrs. Adeagbo was recently awarded for being one of the 8 Black and ethnic minority women in the UK that has professionally broken the glass ceiling. She's a philanthropist and the CEO and founder of IA Foundation, a UK organization set up to socially invest in Nigeria's out-of-school children to ensure that they are equipped with the right skills to reduce poverty, security challenges, and increase social mobility in Nigeria. More on an esteemed guest shortly. Also, in this segment of the program, we'll be showing you a bit of tidbits information on an ICAN diary, our advert information also. Please, I'd like you to stay tuned, stay connected. We shall be back with you very shortly. Indeed, thanks for staying tuned. And let me welcome Mrs. Ibironke Adeagbo to ICAN on AIR. You are welcome, madam.
Thank you, Mr. Fafunke. Thanks for having me. And hello to all our viewers.
And all our professional colleagues and friends of the profession who I'm very sure are watching. Once again, congratulations on those sterling achievements of breaking the glass ceiling out there in the UK.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
To set a frame to what we are going to be discussing today, especially with your insight, Nigeria's economic development, and looking at the place of professionals and diaspora. We know that without a doubt, uh, their remittances, their knowledge builds, their skills, their exposure, their investments of Nigerian professionals in the diaspora community have been an asset, an added value to the Nigerian economy. And so I'd like to have, in your opinion, do you think the professional diaspora is the solution to solving our economic challenges?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Before I answer your question, I just want to thank you and your team for putting up this platform. It's been a very interactive session, platform which I've really enjoyed watching, and I'm learning a lot from it. So well done to you and your teams. I would also like to acknowledge the president of our institute, Mrs. Jumoke Eyitayo, for actually endorsing this initiative. It's been awesome. It's been wonderful. I just want to appreciate her and thank her for the sort of leadership she's giving the Institute at a time like this. I would also like to acknowledge Honorable Abike Dabiri, because she is the one in charge of diasporas. So I just want to say thank you for coordinating us. Thank you so much. Now, I will be the first to say diasporas are not the silver bullet to Nigeria's economic development. We don't have all the answers, right? However, we believe we are part of the solution, right? Basically, we just want to catalyze the economy. Yeah, we are like the yeast, you know, we just want to add value to the Nigerian economy. As you know, we are a bit privileged because we live outside of the country in developed climes. So therefore our orientation, our conditioning has been changed, you know, to sort of mirror the Europeans mindset and the way they think and the way they do things. So that's just a privilege which we have. It doesn't make us better than any average Nigerian based in Nigeria. And as you know, the development of Nigeria is not just a problem or an issue for Nigerians living in Nigeria. It is an issue for every Nigerian living anywhere in the world. So it's a joint issue, it's a joint project which we all have to solve together. So we don't have all the answers, but we are part of the solutions, basically.
Beautiful, beautiful intro in there. But how can the government support? How can the government harness? How can the government guide our partner with the professional diaspora to make bigger and well coordinated impact to advance the economic development of this country?
Okay, another interesting question. Um, One of the brilliant initiatives which the government has introduced is the platform called the Nigeria in Diaspora Commission, which, as I said earlier, Honorable Abike Dabiri chairs. She's doing a wonderful job because in the past, before that commission was set up, Nigerians in the diaspora were going back home with their knowledge base and their investments, and it was disjointed. It was not honest. It was not collated. It was not organized. It's like we are doing our own little thing in our own little way. And this was not yielding the desired results. But now that we have a platform whereby if we want to invest in Nigeria, we just need to link up with the commission and then we'll be able to invest in Nigeria. So this has been a very useful initiative which the government has introduced. Also, as we know, during the Obasanjo era, he introduced what we call the CANUC and also the NIDO, which is a platform to organize diaspora outside of the country. I used to be the treasurer of CANUC in the UK, whereby we all come together under one platform to be able to remit money to our motherland and resources, skills, knowledge to Nigeria. So this platform have been very useful. Now, how can the government help us? Now, as you know, in any economy, politics is equally important, right? At the moment, Nigerians in diaspora cannot vote. So we have no voice in the political setup of Nigeria at the moment. We can't vote. And you know, there's power in voting. So we would really appreciate it if the government of the day can consider the legislation again to allow Nigerians in diaspora to be able to vote. Secondly, an average diasporan wants to come home to invest. The security situation in the country at the moment does not encourage us to come home to invest. I mean, you know of the story of a guy in Ibarapa who came to
Mhm.
establish a farm and he was killed. So we would like the government of the day to actually try and improve on the security of the country and also in terms of the infrastructural decay. When we come over to Nigeria, because we are so used to an infrastructure that everything is hunky dory, when we get to Nigeria, we're sort of reluctant to remain or to invest in Nigeria because the infrastructure is not where we expect it to be. So we would encourage the government of the day to invest more in infrastructure, in the security, and also to enable diasporans to be able to vote.
Thank you very much for those points. And I can assure you, Mrs. Ronke Adeagbo, the governments are listening. They listened to us when we did our annual accountants conference, the 51st month, and they took a lot of next steps. So the points that you have raised, I am very, very sure they are listening and something is going to come out of it. You know that last month, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, in collaboration with Nigerian in Diaspora Commission, and that is the NITCOM under Mrs. Honorable Mrs. Abike Dabiri Erewa that you mentioned earlier, they endorsed the establishment of the Nigerian Diaspora Investment Trust Fund, a private sector investment window to help diaspora direct investments. Do you see this as the silver bullet that you really talked about earlier to solving our foreign exchange challenges in Nigeria?
It's a step in the right direction because, as you know, some of the Nigerians in diaspora, some of them were born here, some of them have never been to Nigeria, but they know that they originate from Nigeria and they want to go back and invest and improve the country. However, coming to Nigeria, not knowing your way around becomes very difficult. And we are very apprehensive that, you know what, we can't trust an average Nigerian. They just want to go out there and milk you. You know, we have the likes of the 419s. We've got lots of Nigerians who've come over to buy properties and, you know, they've been squandered of their money. So we are like, we don't know who to trust, who to rely on. So, but with this trust fund, it gives us an opportunity to invest directly in Nigeria in a very secured way. And therefore, we are guaranteed of our returns, and we can then actually pay more attention into remitting more money to Nigeria. So I think this platform is a very, very useful platform for Nigeria professionals in the diaspora to be able to export our skills, our expertise, our resources to improve our fatherland. So it's a step in the right direction, and I would encourage the government to continue doing things like that.
Beautiful point, Mrs. Adeagbo. Now, with Britain out of the European Union, do you see this as an opportunity to increase the bilateral trade relationship between Nigeria and the UK, and how can the diaspora help?
Absolutely. I see the UK coming out of EU as a blessing for Nigeria. Because I don't know if you remember, sometimes last year, President Buhari came over to the UK because our Prime Minister Boris was having a conference of African countries whereby they can actually invest, because now that the European Union is out of the picture, more or less. So I see it as a brilliant opportunity for bilateral trade. However, the challenge for Nigeria is that this is now an opportunity to pull our socks up, to make sure infrastructurally we are ready. At the moment, our population, we should see it as a blessing, but it doesn't seem like our population is a blessing. Now, if people want to outsource business processing units, they send it all the way to India, because you know India has got awesome population, 1.4 billion, right?
Hmm.
So all these call centers is being contracted out to the likes of India. Now, we speak English as well, and we speak very good English because an average Nigerian is very cerebral. I don't see any reason why all those contracts cannot come to Nigeria. But the only thing that is deterring that is the lack of our infrastructural decay, right? And the energy issues we have in Nigeria in terms of electricity and things like that, the cost of doing business, right? If the government can actually improve on that, this will enable UK businesses to actually transfer their businesses to Nigeria, because one of the beauty of Nigeria again is that we've got cheap labor. And like any business person would need cheap labor to maximize their profits. So therefore, we've got that in abundance. So, but if we just can tick that box of infrastructural improvement, then you will see investors coming over to Nigeria. I used to be on the British Safety Council board, and I was instrumental to trying to get them to actually come to Nigeria to actually invest. However, we were almost signing on the dotted line for them to actually start doing business in Nigeria, and then loads of expatriates were kidnapped. And I was told at the board that sorry, we cannot actually operate in Nigeria because the risk is too high. Now I was very disappointed. Now, the government, if the government actually secured the country and we don't have issues like that, we will have business coming into the country. So I would appeal to the government of the day to maximize this opportunity of the UK coming out of the EU to increase the bilateral trade between the two countries, and we should make sure we are fit for purpose to be able to do that.
Excellent point. Thanks for making it so poignant. But Mrs. Adeagbo, the diaspora has been accused, well, rightly or wrongly, sometimes it's the perception, and sometimes perception becomes reality. Been accused of wrongly, rightly jumping ship when the going was tough. So why should Nigerians take them seriously as patriotic Nigerians when they have chosen to condemn themselves as fair weather friends to Nigeria?
That's a beautiful question, I must say. As you would appreciate, in Nigeria at the moment, the rate at which we produce jobs is not the same rate at which we release graduates. We release more graduates than the jobs. So therefore, we have a high level of unemployment. Therefore, if you have high level of unemployment, the only way out is to seek greener pastures elsewhere, right? To be able to get jobs there, develop yourself, and then transfer those skills and knowledge and resources back to your country to develop your country. And also, whilst you are abroad, you are actually investing in your own family. You are socially developing Nigeria because you're sending money home to develop your family to make sure they can cater for themselves and things like that. So yes, it's seen as jumping ship. But again, our investment is not that we go abroad and we forget about our country. We go there and we remit money, take care of our family. We provide the safety nets for our families. So I would not see it as a disadvantage. It's just that there's not enough jobs to employ every one of us that go to university in Nigeria. So I see it as a get out of jail free and a way to mitigate the unemployment challenges we have in Nigeria.
Quite right there. You'll be right on point if we zone this around you, Mrs. Adeagbo, because I see you are one of the few Nigerians that, like we said, broke the glass ceiling in Britain. But while living abroad, you are socially investing in Nigeria by helping to reduce the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria through your foundation. May I ask you, why does that bother you? And why are you so passionate about this issue?
Okay, thank you so much. From my profile, you'll see that I work predominantly in the education sector in the UK. And in the UK, they have zero tolerance for out of school children, basically. They call them NEET here, not in education, employment, or training. They have zero tolerance for it. Therefore, the funding methodology, I work as a finance director in the education sector. Therefore, the way the government have fashioned the funding methodology is that if you want to get your funding from the government, you're going to be funded per student, right? And not just bumps on seats. Those students must achieve, that is, they should pass very well. That means you've impacted knowledge. And secondly, their attendance is equally important and their punctuality. So there are four issues involved in the funding methodology. So naturally, as an accountant, I want to maximize the revenue we're going to get from the government for my institution. So I have a responsibility to make sure children actually attend school. So I make sure I tell my senior leadership team that, it's not just about bumps on seats. They need to attend school regularly and they need to achieve. Therefore, when I come to Nigeria, I see during the daytime when children are meant to be in school, I see them on the street roaming around. And when I come back to the UK, I'm busy trying to make sure an average British child actually goes to school because we need to get the revenue from the government. And I felt it was a bit hypocritical of me because no matter how I call myself British, I am first a Nigerian. And I tell people when I meet them at work, When I introduce myself, I first tell them I'm a Nigerian. And now it's in the media that Nigeria has one of the greatest number of out of school children. And I come to the UK and I'm trying to say, you know what, children need to go to school. I thought it was hypocritical that look, charity begins from home. Go and try and make sure you reduce the number of out of school children in your own country before you start trying to reduce the number of out of school children in the UK. So I felt as if I needed to do something about this. But there was this particular day I was on Third Mainland Bridge. This was about 11 a.m. And there was a 7-year-old boy who was trying to sell me handkerchief. And I'm thinking, on Third Mainland Bridge, a 7-year-old boy, what are you doing out there? Why aren't you in school? He said, oh, my parents cannot afford to send me to school. So I said, I'm going to buy all your handkerchiefs, but you're going to do me a favor. You're going to come with me. Where do you live? He said they live in Oworonshokim. I said, do you mind coming with me? I gave him the money for all the handkerchief, and I took him home to his mother in Oworonshokim and said, why is this boy on Third Mainland Bridge risking his life when he's meant to be in school? Naturally, again, it's poverty. So I said, okay, if I decide to pay for his school fees, will you allow him to go to school? And they agreed. And I thought, hang on, I can do this for more students. And that's how the foundation started. And now we've actually sponsored lots of children, thereby reducing the number of out of school children in Nigeria. Our advocacy as well has got a ripple effect already. Even the Lagos State governor last week was going on the street, picking up kids from the streets. So I'm really, really very proud of what the foundation is doing. And I would encourage every diaspora out there to have a pet project to help to socially invest in Nigeria, because we have no other country we're going to call our own. We only have that one country. So let's invest in that country socially and economically.
I must add that I am also very proud of you as a professional, and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria is really proud of you, Madam Ronke Adeagbo, for what you have started. And just in case you are just tuning in, this is ICAN on Air. Today, I'm fielding questions on Nigeria's economic development and looking at the place of professionals and diasporal remittances with our Mrs. Ronke Adeagbo FCA. Please, let's have your questions that you may have. Please type them in. We'll take care of them. I like to acknowledge Mr. Abel Igodon as saying, who is chorusing and making this point that diaspora remittance is key to the development of infrastructure. We must cut superb, we must cut, yes, we must cut superb professionals like you to leverage the benefits of diaspora remittance. Thank you very much for that. And now I ask you, Madam Runke, given what you've started to do practically, how can you encourage more young women to follow your footsteps? And how can the imaginary concrete ceiling be broken for Nigerian women in the diaspora?
Okay, thank you so much. But before I answer that question, I'd like to thank my institute, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, for equipping me with the skill set that has enabled me to excel in the UK. Being a chartered accountant is not an easy thing. It's not about debit and credit. It's about you being able to uphold the ethos and ethics of the profession. And this is what ICAN has instilled in me. So anyone that sees me now, what they see first is integrity, because this is what ICAN has imbibed in me. And I'm eternally grateful for what ICAN has done to me. Now, having those skills as a chartered accountant and taking responsibility for upholding the ethics of the profession. When I go out there, the way I conduct myself, it's with integrity, it's with credibility. So with that, that opens doors for people to be able to want to engage with you. So that is absolutely critical. Your integrity is important. Now, I will be the first to say we do have accountants who haven't got integrity, but I hope they are very few and far between. But I will encourage any young woman to actually ensure that integrity is their watchword. Also, you need to be able to develop yourself. You need to be very aspirational. Even if you have the professional qualification, you still need to continuously develop yourself. The same way ICAN is encouraging us to continuously develop ourselves, we have to continuously develop ourselves. Now, without a doubt, women tend to be discriminated against because people think, you know what, all our education should end in the kitchen. But you need to work twice as hard, even more than a man, to be able to demonstrate that, what a man can do, a woman can do. I remember when I was growing up and I was in university, my father wasn't very keen to send me to university. He preferred to send my brothers to university. And he said it's because I'm going to get married and I'll end up in the kitchen. And you know what I did? When I eventually got through university, thanks to my mom, I actually had 3 professional qualifications, right? So ICAN, ACCA, SIPFA. And when I got those qualifications, I took those certificates to my father and said to him, what a man can do, what a man can do, a woman can do as well. So I want to encourage young women to show integrity, to be hardworking, and believe in to be aspirational and believe in themselves. Self-confidence is important. Be resilient because people will push you down. People will tell you you shouldn't be hard. You understand? You need to demonstrate that you've got what it takes to be hard. And you need to actually be a billboard for other professionals because when they see the way you conduct yourself, they will have confidence in you as a person, irrespective of the fact that you're a woman. One of the challenges I have in the UK, and I like to see it as a challenge, although it's a nice problem, is that I get people coming to me, organizations coming to me that they want me to be on their board. And the only reason why I think they want me to be on their board is because I tick so many boxes for them. So I'm a woman for starters because they want their board to be diverse. I'm a woman from Black and ethnic minority because very few Black and ethnic minority women put themselves forward, right? I work in the education sector, which is very attractive to them, right? Because of all this, they come after me. And even when I want to come off their boards, they don't allow me to come off their boards. I would like to encourage every woman to actually emulate this. Show integrity in everything you do. Don't compromise that for anything. You cannot buy your integrity once you've put your once your integrity has come into disrepute. Please uphold it with your life. It is the only thing you have as an accountant. So this would be my words for any woman that wants to aspire and break the glass ceiling or the concrete ceiling now.
Beautiful point, and you just giving a fillip to Swan. We say up Swan, the Society of Women
Up,
Accountants of
Swan.
Nigeria. I don't know. Of course, Madam Ronke Adeagbo, the truth of the matter is that our motto as ICAN, starting from when we begin to write exams, we begin our tutelage, integrity, accuracy, and I'm very happy that that is working out for you. Mr. Olusoju Sasonlu is asking that, barring all the limiting factors, what is in your own take moving Nigeria forward to the next level in the Committee of the Developed Nations of the World? What will be your take to move Nigeria forward to the next level in the Committee of Developed Nations of the World?
Okay, good question. Now, it's all about leadership. It's all about vision. It's all about your compassion for your country. So you need to be compassionate about your country. You need to have the vision. If we get the leadership wrong, then we would not have any clout in the Committee of Nations. The other thing I'll also say is for those of us in diaspora, we should see ourselves as billboards for Nigeria. We should showcase Nigeria at every opportunity we have. There's no point you going out there and pretending as if you are British. You will never be British, no matter where you are born or whatever the passport you carry. You are Nigerian to the core, right? So therefore, be a billboard for your country, Nigeria. So when they see you as a billboard, people will want to liaise with you. They want to reach out with you. They want to do business with you, which you will in turn be able to transfer to Nigeria to develop Nigeria. I'm doing that here. So the likes of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the likes of our lovely brother, Mr. Adesina, they are the billboards of Nigeria, and they are doing fantastically well. And because people see them as role models, as billboard for Nigeria, they want to do business with Nigeria. So we need more of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. We need more of Adesina. Now, also within the governance system in Nigeria, we need to find ways and means of incorporating people from the diaspora, because, as you know, they have a sort of different mindset, and they could actually, if you engage them, they could use their mindset to actually change the dynamics of the governance. And if you can start changing the leadership approach, and it's more transformational rather than transactional, that can start cascading down, and we can start making changes within our country, and our country will start aspiring to be in the Committee of Nations.
Excellent point. There's something about what we just mentioned about leadership vision that reminds me of same chapter, new chapter that ICAN has visions under Mrs. Comfort Olu Eita or MNI FCA. And that seems to be taking us in that direction. And so the likes of you, the likes of the people you have mentioned, Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili, who is also a big counter like you and I, are the people that will continue to be the billboard. Now Sanusi Olusi is coming with another one. Nigeria might be blessed with cheap labor due to inflation. Okay. What of other factors that still create bottleneck? That is saying, Olusi is saying that Nigeria might be blessed with cheap labor due to inflation and maybe some other myriad problems. What about other challenges that we have? How will that not continue to be a roadblock for us?
Yeah, as we said, we need to encourage foreign direct investment, because, as we know, we seem to be struggling with capacity. And if we want to grow overnight, we cannot grow organically. We need to actually invest foreign direct investment. And how can you encourage people to invest in Nigeria? You need to invest in your infrastructure, your security situation. And these things are not things which individual can deal with. The government needs to find a way of addressing these two huge challenges, and also power, those three issues. If the government can actually invest in those things, um, you will see diasporas all trooping home. And when diaspora come home, they're not coming empty-handed. They are coming with their resources, and that can only inject more capacity within the Nigerian sector. So let's invest in these things. I'm very impressed in what is happening in transport. The train system, Ibadan Express Road, very, very impressive. We want to see more of that. And if the government needs resources to be able to do this, the diaspora can actually create an investment bond. I mean, the Suku bond was used to develop lots of roads recently. We also could have a bond to make sure we can use that to actually develop the infrastructure. We just need those infrastructure to attract the diaspora back home and to attract foreign direct investment.
Super, super. There was something that came on from Professor Goke Onokoya asking, how do you see the diaspora coming in with their wherewithal to resolve some other problems that we may have? If that question flashes back, we'll take that. Now, Mrs. Adeagbo, um, among the many hats you wear, apart from what you just told us, that you are the treasurer of Nigerians in the UK, you are the former chairman of ICAN UK district, and you chair the very first special candidate program outside the shores of Nigeria. How will you measure the impact of this program? One, especially in encouraging more ICAN members in the diaspora to transfer their well-honed financial skills back home, and especially to help in our fight against corruption.
Awesome question. Now, as you know, I'm very proud to be a member of ICAN, and I'm prepared to showcase ICAN everywhere. Yes, I have other professional qualification, but my foremost qualification is ICAN. I am a beneficiary of the special candidate program. Back then, you have to travel all the way from the UK to Nigeria to do this course. And when I came for that course, I'm thinking, hang on, this is a no-brainer. Why should 20, 30 Nigerians from abroad come to Nigeria just to do this course? Why can't we fly people over to get this course done. So at that point, at that time, I was the vice chair of UK district. And our chairman actually commissioned me. When I spoke to him about it, he said, you know what, see what you can do, put a paper together, we put it to ICAN Council, and let's see what they would say about this. And I'm talking, this was about in 2007. And we put a paper together. A gentleman called Ladi Amond helped to put a paper together. The executive of ICAN UK district represented it to the ICAN Council, and ICAN Council loved the idea. And since then, we started the special candidate course in the UK. Now, I tell you, for every year, we have about 30 to 40 people you're getting involved in this program. So by default, you are increasing the number of ICAN membership. So every year in the UK, you have 40, 40, 40, joining the profession. And as you know, when they join, it comes with revenue because they will have to pay their subscription. They will pay their subscription to ICAN Lagos, they will pay their subscription to UK, and also they have ICAN in their CVs. So when they go looking for a job in the Western world, they are advertising ICAN, right? They are showcasing ICAN. When I go looking for jobs, ICAN is my first qualification there because I see myself as a billboard for ICAN. So by having more people on this program, it helps to raise the profile of ICAN. It becomes internationally visible. And I think this is a wonderful thing. Now, it was Christmas come early for me this year because our awesome president, Mrs. Eyitayo, gave us the good news that they've reinstated this program because, as you're probably aware, they stopped that program a couple of years ago. Now that program has been reinstated, and now people are rushing to want to register for that program. Now, it's not just about people, my contemporaries now. I've got a 30-year-old daughter, right? She wants to be an accountant. Now I'm going to encourage her to go and do the conversion program. Once she does the conversion program, she might be keen to go back to Nigeria to export her skills to become an accountant in Nigeria. So by having this conversion program, it's actually encouraging internationally based accountants to have the ICAN qualification and encourage them to actually go back to improve the economic development of Nigeria. So it's a wonderful initiative on behalf of ICAN, and I want to commend the ICAN Council and the ICAN President for reinstating this program.
You can say that again, Mrs. Adeagbo. That goes without saying. Professor Gbemi Onokoya is back and giving you kudos, and he's proud of you. And I was asking how.
I need to say this. I'm so proud of Professor Gbemi Onokoya. He was my lecturer in the university.
Oh.
So thank you very much for what you impacted in me.
So lecturers' benefits is not in heaven; it's right here. Now he's asking, how do you see the future of accountancy profession in view of the operating technology dynamics that we have around us?
Right, interesting. As we know, technology has disrupted the profession. You wouldn't believe it. About 2 or 3 months ago, I had some problem with my plumbing, and I called a plumber to help me fix it. And when he fixed fixed it, he said he wanted to give me an invoice, and I'm thinking, email it to me. And he said, okay. And on his phone, he had the app for QuickBooks. And on that phone, this is a plumber, he inputted the information and generated the invoice and said, Madam, I've emailed it to you. Now, as an accountant, I was shocked, thinking this is a plumber, is done me out of a job here. Because more or less, a plumber is now his own bookkeeper. He doesn't need an accountant. So you can imagine how technology is actually changing the dynamics of the profession, because anybody now can do bookkeeping. You don't have to have any professional qualification to do your accounts. So therefore, we need to evolve. ICAN needs to lead this from the forefront to make sure our members are not redundant. Our members are not irrelevant. We need to change the narratives in terms of what the role of an accountant is. It's now about looking at the data, dissecting the data, and using that data to make decisions that would help improve the revenues and the prospect and growth of organizations. That is where I see our roles going. As you know, fintech is the in thing now. So every accountant that is worth their salt must make sure they evolve. They learn the new technologies. They are continuously developing themselves to make sure they remain relevant. Otherwise, as I said, the plumber will take over your role. So please, 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 I appeal to you, my colleagues, Please evolve. Latch on to technology. It's the way
La-
forward.
Lack onto technology on the credit side, and then, of course, in the language of accountants, look at entrepreneurship also on the debit side. They work hand in hand, and we cannot but not want to give the kudos to our iconic president, Mrs. Comfort Eitayo, raising the bar, talking about entrepreneurship, getting it great young, and the Council of the Chartered Accountants of Nigeria giving all the support. The sky will be our limit. Earlier, Mr. Ayuba asked the question. Naturally, Madam Ronke, you should expect that question. Talking about Mrs. Okonjo Iweala, Mr. Kimi Shino, they were um, part of government, and that despite their being part of government, we are still where we are. And he was asking the critical question: what really then is the problem of development in Nigeria? Where have we got it wrong in terms of development?
Right. Um, Both of them actually are from the diaspora, right? They
Hmm.
came into their fatherland to do their bits. I'm a great fan of both of them, and I do read their books. You need to read some of the books which Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is written. And essentially, what she's saying in that book is that no matter the sort of reform you want to do within the government, coming from the diaspora, you face a lot of resentment. You face a lot of brick wall. People don't want to change. They see you as an outsider. It's difficult to accept you, and it's difficult fighting corruption in Nigeria. So she felt she was very constrained, and she felt like a voice in the wilderness. And I'm sure Mr. Akinwumi Adesina probably had similar experience. Now, just to show you, both of them have now left the country and they are now on the world stage and they are doing fantastically well. And I'm sure we are all proud of them. So, what does that tell you? It tells you that there's something wrong with our system. Because if they couldn't excel within our system, they couldn't fix our system, but they are on the world stage and doing wonderfully well, then we should look inward. Maybe we
Hmm.
need to have an attitudinal change, a behavioral change, a
Hmm.
makeover. We need to change
Hmm.
our mindsets, our conditioning to make sure when these diasporans come and they want to fix things, we give them the opportunity to be able to do that. And we don't actually make them feel threatened or make them want to leave their roles. Because the same situation, Obi Ezekwele had a similar situation. The only two ministers that has resigned from the government are from the diaspora. And I'm talking about Mrs. Kemi Adeosun and also Professor Bat Inaji is from America because they found it very difficult working in an environment like that because it's alien to them because it's like they're a voice in the wilderness. So we need to invest in changing the mindsets of Nigerians to make sure we are behaving in a way that um shows integrity, and we try and reduce corruption as much as possible. And accountants have a big role to play in all this because for every corruption or for every fraud that happens in any organization, the the auditor and the accountant will know about it. So we have a big
Hmm.
role to play in turning the tide and making sure we rid our country of corruption and fraud.
Super. More like you cannot be rough you cannot be straight in a rough jacket. So that jacket's got to be straight. And part of the things that we are saying in here is that key two, not patronizing. The charter that ICAN is preaching to our world. This, for instance, is an example. You share knowledge, ICAN on air, and under an iconic lady, Mrs. Comfort Itayo, who say the sky will continue to be our limit. You mentioned Mrs. Adeagbo, of course, stable political environment. We need to look at how diaspora should be enabled by voting in 2023 elections. How can the diaspora participate and help improve the governance in Nigeria, especially help the political economy? and the emergence of the transformational leaders that you have just given to us today.
Okay. Um, whether we like it or not, as accountants, we tend to see politics as a dirty word. It's not a dirty word because if you want to change anything, you need to be involved with the politics. Therefore, accountants need to put themselves forward. Diasporans need to put themselves forward for public office. However, as I said earlier, if we don't have the voting power, how can we put ourselves forward when we can't even vote? Because if diasporans can vote and we all come together and put a candidate forward, even maybe for presidency, and we can vote, and all diasporans vote for that person, there's a high chance that that person might win the election. So until that issue of diaspora voting is resolved, most of us are sort of disenfranchised from the political setup. And once you're disenfranchised from the political setup, how do you influence change? Because you can only influence change through politics. Because without that, there's no way you can influence change. So most diasporans that are even coming home to come and participate in politics, when they even come, it's very, very difficult initially for them because they treat them as an outcast. It's like we've been here and you are now coming from nowhere and you now want to jump the queue, and they won't allow them. So it's always very difficult and tricky for us. Some of us sell our property here to get involved in politics just because we want our country to have good leadership. But the reception we get when we come to do that is always very difficult. So I just want to encourage all Nigerians that when you see diasporans coming over, it is not an easy decision to make to come over, to sell whatever you have or leave your family behind to come and participate in politics. So when you see us come over, please embrace us, please encourage us, and please let's appeal to the government of the day and the legislators to allow us to vote.
Excellent point. You just stated that. Part of issues that I know is hovering around the issues surrounding population control, and Dr. Hussein is asking that as part of anti-poverty strategy, maybe you please speak to the issue of family planning.
Okay. Was it last week? Our president, President Muhammadu Buhari, was talking about population control. And I think it couldn't be more right. Because if we continue at this pace at which we are breeding in Nigeria, we're going to be in trouble if we're not careful. For starters, we don't even know how many we are. We keep bounding around the 200 million. We don't know because when last did we have a census? Maybe about 16 years ago. We ought to be having a census every 10 years. So for starters, we don't know how many we are. And then we are breeding like rats. And then secondly, these children are not even going to school. So you can imagine what we're building, we're storing up problems for ourselves.
Mm,
What are we trying to prove by having loads of children? You understand? Have children that you can afford. If you can only afford two, have two. If you can afford more than that, yeah, by all means. But let's remember that the country's infrastructure is not moving at the same pace at which we are breeding in Nigeria. So we need
super.
to checkmate ourselves and caution ourselves and make sure the fact that we go to bed at night doesn't mean we don't go straight to sleep. We should learn to go straight to sleep when we go to bed.
Oh yes, we go straight to bed. We then begin to dream greater dreams for the country. Exactly what we are doing. I like to. Time is not a friend, so let me just bring this in. That you spoke about infrastructure, and of course, naturally, you spoke about insecurity. It has affected the economic adversely, especially foreign direct investments. Maybe in 2, 3 seconds. Okay, maybe 1 minute. How can the diaspora help with the security challenges Nigeria is facing at the moment? To help facilitate FDI and essentially create more jobs to aid the value chain.
Yeah, I think I spoke about that earlier. We just need to create, the government needs to create the enabling environment. If we can create the enabling environment, the FDIs will be coming in, will be trooping in. So let's have the enabling environment and everything will fall in place. Now, without a doubt, as I said earlier, the government is moving in the right direction in terms of infrastructure, but it's not enough. We need to double up on the resources we are putting towards infrastructure. We really, really need to pull our socks up so that we can encourage foreign direct investment in the country. That would help our unemployment, because when you have businesses coming in, they need to employ people. So that we employ our unemployed youth. We've got a teeming population of young people. We need them to be reasonably engaged. So it's only by bringing in foreign direct investment that these young people will be reasonably engaged and they will not get involved in criminalities like Yahoo and ritual killing and things like that.
Super point. And I want to end this segment. And may we have your last word to us on this very important subject, Mr. Adeagbo?
Yes. Diasporans are part of the solution to the Nigerian challenges. We need to encourage diasporans to come home to transfer their skills, their knowledge, their resources. Remittances should not be just money. Our knowledge is also equally important. Encouraging foreign investment, using us as a conduit to attract foreign investment is equally important. And as the saying goes, home sweet home. One day we all want to come back home and we would want to come along with our investment to make our country a better place. If we want to come back to Nigeria, we want to make sure Nigeria is a better place. It's of the same standard in which we are living. So we want to do that. We want the enabling environment and we want Nigerians to embrace us, support us, encourage us to come back home.
Fantastic point, Mrs. Adeagbo. Thank you very much for such a scintillating moment with you. And I would like to also thank our online participants. We go on a short break. We are going to be back with you shortly. Please don't go away. Thank you for staying on. Had a scintillating moment with Mrs. Ronke Adeagbo, looking at Nigeria's economic development and the place of diaspora, professional remittances. Sky continues to be the limit, and given the enablers that we expect government to do, including allowing our diaspora to vote in our elections. We're looking forward to that. I have a brief announcement that the Institute of Chartered Accountants 52nd Annual Accountants Conference is scheduled for the 10th to 14th of October 2022. Just giving you a heads up on that. Please mark your diary. More announcements will be coming on that as we move on. As you know, the ICAN on Air initiative is a way of getting our publics and our stakeholders to understand a little bit more about accountancy, transparency, and financial prudence. We can start it low, entrepreneurial, until we go big. So we are going to have our next episode of this program. It's going to be on Thursday, February the 10th, year 2022. It will still be at 6 p.m. West African time on all ICAN social media channels, the YouTube, the Facebook. We're going to be streaming live. Make sure you tell somebody, mention it to somebody to come and share freely the knowledge that the Institute of Chartered Accountants is giving to fellow Nigerians and friends of Nigeria. And the topic for that day will be ICAN, the chartered accountant as value partner of choice. We're looking at identifying the changing rules and skill set. We will have as our guests Olufemi Awoyemi, MNI, FCA, FIOD, FCIB, FCII, FIM, FIAPM, FICA. By definition, he is the founder and chairman of ProShare, Nigeria's foremost financial information hub. Mr. Olufemi Awoyemi's commitment to service and leadership has inspired ProShare's evolution into a professional service firm of repute, home and abroad, with epaulets to show for it. He is a highly sought public speaker on leadership and has published hundreds of reviews, opinions, and research works. Please don't miss this. On Thursday, February 10, 2022, please let me leave you with this quote. We are all hydrogen's diaspora. End of quote. That is John Zande. I always say, be the change that you will always like to see. And until you come your way again, on Thursday, February 10, 2022, I am Akin Fatunke, your anchor, ICAN on Air. Bye for now.